Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I am Pamela Marie Woo! We got a slip up going on already here. I am Pamela Marie Edmunds, your host. I'm a medium. I am a radio show host. Actually, just doing one show right now. This particular show, Love Never Dies. I'm a teacher and animal communicator. I think that's enough for now. Yeah. And I want to welcome you to tonight's show. It's going to be I Know You're Here. And I'm hoping we're going to have some discussion going on. Because what's happened to this planet is the veil between the worlds has gotten very, very thin, or it's almost disappeared in some ways. And our loved ones, the higher beings from the other side, we can recognize very easily. They can bring us guidance and support. And that's what it's all about. This love never dies, right? Our loved ones want to communicate to us. We want to hear from them. And mediumship and other forms of, I'll say, spirit communication can occur, because mediumship is not the only form of communication. It's one. But we can really get into other types of communication, such as individuals have found recordings on their phone or found recordings on their laptops. The list goes on. Plus, how about signs? Don't our loved ones send us signs? And when I want to say sign could be something in the clouds, shape of the clouds. It could be a song. There's so many ways communication can occur. Yet the most simplest is through our own our personal organ, our personal being, okay? Because we are human beings living in a physical body, but we're actually spirit, aren't we? We're all spirit, spiritual being in that physical body. So I'm rambling a little bit tonight, but that's okay. Somebody must be talking through me and I don't quite realize whom. But what I want to say first is for anybody who is listening and wants to get some more information about this show, it's all posted on my website, PamelaMarieEdmunds.com. I also have some events coming up. Let's see, tonight is Wednesday. It's Love Never Dies radio show. And Friday, with the intense energies coming in with Halloween and a full moon on the same day. Actually, I was talking to a friend, and let's see, Saturday's Halloween. There's a full moon, which is a blue moon, which is the second moon of the month, which makes it an intense moon. And on top of that, it's time change. Clocks get changed that night. Isn't that interesting? So, and I just want to let people know here, my clock does not change in Arizona. All of your clocks change in the United States. So basically what's going to happen is my starting time for my show here, any of the events I'm doing is going to be 5 p.m. my time. But then you're going to be an hour earlier for any of the events. So if you are Eastern Standard Time, tonight the show started at 8 o'clock for you, right? Starting next week after Saturday night, it will be 7 o'clock. So it'll be an hour earlier. Sound right? spring ahead, fall back, right? Okay, if I got it, yeah, spring ahead, fall back. And this is fall, so we go 1 hour back. I've got those cute little ways of remembering things like that are so helpful. So anyway, the Friday night, I'm doing an event, and it's going to be a group trance mediumship session. And when I say group, it's a bunch of us can get together, and I'm going to sit and allow some of the higher beings to speak through me. It's called trance mediumship. Sometimes you can call it channeling. To me, channeling is lighter. It's a lighter state of consciousness. Okay. Whereas trance is much deeper. My personal experience is that I'm not in a deep trance where I don't remember what's been said, or I don't hear what's been said, which some people do. I'm in an in-between state, and I can hear everything that's being said. After the experience, I remember pieces of it, kind of like coming out of a dream. You know how you remember pieces for a dream, but the more awake you are, the less you remember. So if you want to join us for that, I'm not sure who will show up. The different ones that I have brought through before has been Mother Mary. I also have a wonderful guide who works with me named Arthur. Some of you may know him, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He authored some wonderful Sherlock Holmes books and some wonderful spiritual books too. He got very, very involved in psychic phenomena and mediumship in the latter part of his life, and was quite an advocate for it. And that's how he and I connect. That's where he and I connect. Also could be a ascended master. What other ascended masters? Saint Germain. Let's see, Kuan Yin. They're basically any of the beings who are the higher consciousness, higher level spiritual beings who have been here in this world and have since decided to work from the spirit side of life and assisting us in our progress. So that's going to be $30, the 2-hour event. So let me know if you are interested, and please let other people know. It's always nice to have a handful of people who can experience it, because we all bring energy into it. So, and one other important thing to share. Next week, okay, gonna have a repeat Monday night. It's gonna be, two things. Let's Talk Spiritually was an event that I started this past Monday, and it's replacing the meditations and message circle. And we had a small group, but you know what? It was awesome. It was like we all talked about things spiritual. We shared stories, and a lot of these stories that we were able to share, we can't share with the public. We can't share with a sister or a spouse, because they don't get it, or they don't want to hear it. Okay, so if you want to join us again, please, it's going to be a weekly thing, and it's going to be Monday nights. It's an hour, and it's called Let's Talk Spiritually. And each of us share stories and talk about various types of things that are spiritual. Okay. And it's a $10 fee, and that's posted on my Facebook page if you want to have interest. And the highlight I wanted to talk. Next Thursday, the 5th, I'm going to be starting a weekly mediumship development circle for anyone who feels like they can sense spirit, they hear spirit, and they want to take it to another level. They want to understand it more fully. It's going to be a 2-hour class weekly. At the moment, I'm going to do one mediumship development circle. And as people come and are interested, I'll find some are beginners, some are a little more advanced, some are intermediates, and I'll break things up a bit so we can get people who are of like-minded in that way development together. That's going to be $25 a person, 2 hours, and I will discuss all aspects of mediumship so everyone knows what's going on. And it should be very good. At some point, there will also be a class regarding trance work too. That's considered an advanced type of mediumship. So anyway, so Pamela's been talking for a bit. I think we're going to slow this down. Let's bring our topic. I know you're here. Well, as a medium, that's what I've developed, is my knowing that spirit is around me. Okay? But all of us have this gift of sensing, hearing, feeling, getting some sort of guidance from loved ones from the other side. Out of the blue, it may come. And it brings comfort. It's proof of what we call the continuity of life, meaning that life continues on after this experience here on Earth. We're just on a different energy plane and in a different form. The spirit of who we are, our essence, leaves the physical body as the physical body ceases to function any longer and becomes a spirit body or an etheric body, which can communicate to us. They give a couple of examples of things that I've experienced. My dear father, God bless him, he's been on the other side now, 5 years, as of October 2nd. Yes, 5 years. And he lived alone for a while. He was pretty independent. And he would cook himself, simple things, guys. One of those non-cookers, simple stuff. And once in a while, if he wanted something he didn't want to cook, he'd do KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's pretty national. Well, I mean, he could get halfway decent, healthy, at least somewhat healthy food, right? And every once in a while, I'm thinking I want to go out and treat myself. And what do I hear? I hear KFC. And that's him telling me, let's go to KFC for some chicken. Let's go there. And it's not just that he wants me to go there, but it's like, I'm here, just reminding you. And that's a pretty simple, but I'm going to say evidential piece of information. That way I know it's him. I've talked before about my some of my pets. Dear Earth Angel, who's been on the other side now he'll be 5 years, January. That's right. And his way of letting me know he's around. And it's not a big deal, but it's enough that I'm here, Mom. He's got, I don't know if you can tell in the picture. I don't think you can. He's got a curled tail, all right? And long hair on it. Well, he wags his tail way over here in the corner. I can barely see him, and his tail goes wagging. It's his tail was one of the things that attracted me to him, besides the rest of him being so cute. And it's just his way. It's just his way of saying, Mom, I'm here. You want to talk? I'm supporting you. And you know what? Spirit has, I like to say they have eyes. They can see forward. They can see past, present, and future, right? So if something is going on or I'm not feeling quite well, they know enough that just their presence, just that tail wag, or just that KFC, Pamela, lets me know they're here. I feel comforted, and I know somehow or another things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. Yes, as a medium, I do get a lot more than most people, but remember, all of us are mediums, okay? Every single one of us has this ability. Yet, I want to say, if you're walking a spiritual path, like all of you are who are listening right now, Spirit can drop little tidbits in every once in a while. And I'm going to say, I know you're here. And that's what you can say. I know you're here. So I'd like to see if we got some conversation we can get going here. I know from what I experienced, most of the people who joined me for the shows and any of my classes, enjoyed talking too. So like me. So I feel like I want to quiet down for a moment and let some other people share something. Okay. Hand up to let me, Lori's already, yep. Okay, Lori.
Moving. It was probably maybe only a month after Walter died.
And Walter's your son.
Yes.
Let people know that.
And I was in the bathroom, I had taken my shower, and I was just like losing it, totally losing it, because I hadn't really been able to. Living here, I don't have any privacy. I do not have my own room, so it's like the bathroom is the only place, and I just lost it. And uncontrollable, ugly crying, the whole 9 yards. And I got out of the shower, and I'm wrapping the towel around me, and clear as a bell, I hear Walter say, "Ma, cut it out." And it scared the shit out of me. I froze. And I told a friend who was an empath about that. And she goes, "Well, what did you do?" I told him to get the hell out of there. I was naked. And she started laughing, and she goes, "They don't care about that." I said, "But I panicked." And that was the first thing that came to mind.
Well, they don't. They still give us privacy, is what I want to say.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was just literally hearing his voice. It wasn't like it was in my head. It was like he was standing outside the door yelling at me to cut it out.
That would be direct voice.
And I was like, holy crap.
Wow. But he also knows you need to grieve his loss. How long has he been gone now, Lori?
4 years and 6 months.
Okay. And there's a lot of interesting things that we don't expect that trigger those memories too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Or, sitting here on the computer at 1:45 in the morning, and all of a sudden I smell freshly baked bread.
Okay.
We don't have an oven. We have no working oven. Nobody was cooking. I was the only one that was up, but I could smell bread. And when we would go out to eat, Walter would have to have a whole loaf of the warm, fresh bread. He would have a whole loaf to himself. So we'd always say, bring 2 or bring 4, but don't bring 1. It's no good.
And where in particular would this be? This would be a particular restaurant that had a loaf of homemade.
Oh, Longhorn, because then they
Okay.
had the apple butter that went with it or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
The
Okay.
cinnamon butter. Oh yeah, it was to die for delicious.
So that's another Walter.
Yes.
Walter tip that he's around, because see for me, I would have thought it was more of a woman or a grandmother. That's what I would normally go to, but if I would think, because grandmoms used to make, homemade this and homemade that, but you
Well, I
understand.
remember my grandmother making Rice Krispie treats when we were little.
Mhm.
So when they came out with that commercial that the mother was in the kitchen killing herself making Rice Krispie treats, and she spritz flour on her face to make it look like, she literally died making this for her family. And they're like, Mom, you're so cool. And she goes, I work so hard. And all you do is melt the marshmallow and throw in the Rice Krispies. It's like nothing. But when I see Rice Krispie treats, when I make them, I think of her.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times, family members do show up when we're cooking.
Yep.
I one of my favorite pies, specifically around Thanksgiving, Christmas, is pumpkin, and I have my Nana's recipe for pumpkin
Oh,
pie, and she didn't buy the canned pumpkin. No, she would buy a pumpkin, and you literally would cut it and skin it, get the all the seeds out of it, and steam it,
mm-hmm.
and then mash it, you know, and pies were made from that.
Yep.
But I can tell you a number of times I sense her energy coming in when I'm doing that. And it's just a simple thing, really,
Mm-hmm.
that she just comes in, and she's not giving me a big long speech or anything like that, but she was thrilled that I was doing the
Oh, good.
pie. So yeah, yeah. So Denise, you can mute. You got anything you want to share? Any experiences that you have that you can acknowledge? I know you're here.
Well, there was a time that I was just crying uncontrollably, about 1, 2 in the morning, my quiet time when
Yeah,
everybody's sleeping. And
yeah.
I was thinking about my mom. And then I have this bush out front. And all of a sudden, all these birds were just chirping and chirping and chirping. They wouldn't shut up. And I said, Mom, I know you're here. And I mean, they continued on till morning, from like 1 o'clock until morning. No birds chirp like that. It was like there was millions of little babies just chirping.
Could your mom be talkative?
She was more quiet, but it,
Okay,
and so,
okay.
but I mean, they were just going at it and at it and at it.
And you knew,
And
yeah.
it was actually when I was trying to write something about her for the funeral. And the day before, I couldn't think of a thing because I was so worked up. And then it all came to me just like bam. I mean, I could have wrote a book.
So
I have so much
did,
to say.
did it involve the birds that night?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
It
isn't
just
that
came to me. It's like the birds were telling me what to say.
is I mean, isn't that wonderful? I mean,
It calmed me down. My granddaughter was here too, and we were the ones that wrote the eulogy per se. And I mean, it just came to us the day before. We couldn't think of a thing, and it was like, oh my gosh. The
right.
guy told us, it's enough. We've got to get
Wow.
going.
Wow. Wow.
So
And
it was beautiful. I'll never forget that, and I never heard him again. Never.
how long's mom been gone?
2 years in May.
Okay. Do you have any of her belongings in that room that you're sitting in?
I have a picture of her somewhere up there.
Okay.
Um, I have belongings like downstairs. I saved some stuff. Most we donated everything.
Why
Yeah.
why am I drawn to a clock? Was there a clock that she had?
No, that not that I have.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Wow.
I,
Just yep, yep, yep. You're still I can still see your picture, but your mouth is not moving, your body's not moving, but I can hear you, see you and hear you. So hey, it's working. Something silenced it's stopped. So anyway, but that's okay. That's okay. Was there any other experience that you wanted to share? Or was that the only time that
well,
you ever
can you hear me?
yeah, yep, I can hear you.
No, one day I was just sitting outside and I was thinking of my brother, and then it was when he stood, he walked me down the aisle. It was that picture that floated across the sky, and I've got pictures to prove it. I've got three pictures, and
Okay. You're breaking
like
up, hon.
when
You're breaking up. It
oh
sounds like
crap,
the what's the word? You possibly your internet is
it could be
are you plugged in for internet or are you wireless for internet?
wireless.
Okay. The wireless piece is yeah. If future Zoom doesn't like wireless. I found that out the hard way. And whenever we have any issues in regards to the video, the sound, the voice, any of that, it's tied to the internet connection. Okay.
Mm.
So anyway, but talk again. You were giving a great, you were sharing something wonderful, but we couldn't hear half of it.
Well,
Talk
it was like
about,
the clouds. It was like my brother. Can you hear it or no?
yes, we can now.
No.
Could hear
Floated
you.
across the sky,
Yeah.
looking exactly Christian. I don't know. I'll just wait.
Go ahead. Your voice is coming through now, sweetie.
Um, well, it was just that picture. He floated across the sky. It took up my whole yard and my neighbor's whole yard, and I fit it into my cell phone, and it was three pictures I got. Now my mom see it. Everybody else could see it, but my mother at the time she couldn't see it. And I'm like, you're not trying to see it. She couldn't.
She may not have wanted to see it too
Yeah,
on a
that's
deeper
what I
level.
was thinking. I'm like, how can you not see this? And she told me she saw a dog.
Aw, aw.
But I used to try talking spiritual to her all the time, and
Mhm.
she would listen, But I think she kind of liked it when I talked. But some people listen, don't. They think I'm crazy, but it's okay.
Okay, we've got another visitor, Donna George, and I've got Lori over here cheering in the corner. Apparently, Lori knows Donna, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Wonderful,
This
wonderful.
is the woman I was speaking of earlier before we started the show.
Okay, okay. Well, welcome, Donna. If you have you can turn your video on. That way we could see you.
Donna?
Everybody has issues at times with with Zoom. Hello, Donna. I'm Pamela. I'm your host here. Uh, if you can't hear me, it might be something you need to adjust on your side. Your microphone's on. Can you hear me? Let's for people to know too, there is a chat. Okay, let me try. Can you hear me, Donna?
I just sent her a message that said we could see her name but not hear her.
Right. I'm sending a private message here in chat.
Okay.
Hello, Donna. Can you hear me speak? Is this new for her? Well,
Yes.
okay. All right.
I think the only time that she did have the Zoom was when she had to teleconference with Mass General, and the last time she saw her brother.
Oh gosh.
So it probably is not. She took it off her computer, so had to download it again.
Okay. Can you hear us talking, Donna? Okay. I'm not quite sure how to support her unless the other thing is, Donna, do you have anybody that's there? Okay, she just stepped away.
Or maybe she'll try to get back on.
Right. I was gonna suggest to her if she had somebody else that could give her a hand. So anyway, okay. All right. So how else do we know our loved ones are around us? How about temperature changes? Anybody ever feel temperature change or feel like something walked through you? Or you walked through something? Go ahead.
I could say you probably think I'm a total quack on this one, because I just tell you. A friend of mine had, when they stayed here, she had people hanging around her. And one of the names was this gentleman named Eldon.
Okay.
And I said, oh, well, that's a different name. She says, well, you intrigue him. He's very interested in how you live your life. And I said, okay. So when they found out an apartment, she said, he wants to hang out with you for a while. And I said, oh, sure, I don't care. So on the nights that I have a super difficult time going to sleep, I say, Eldon, I need a snuggle buddy because I can't sleep. And from the back of my head all the way down to my ankles, I get this wicky cold chill. And you know what? I'm out in like 12 seconds.
Oh,
I am out like a light.
Do you have any visual of what Eldon looks like? Or
all I know is that he's a pirate that doesn't have very good taste in clothes. But I was at the beach one night and I was taking pictures of the full moon, on the water. And I kept looking at the pictures after I took them, and I went, there's no fog. What is this shit? So I deleted all but 2 pictures. And when I got back to the house and I downloaded them, I went, oh my God, that was a face. It took up the whole frame, but it was a face. So I, sent a message to my friend who told me about Eldon. And I said, oh my God, do you see this ugly thing that I caught on film? It scared the crap out of me when I saw it. I mean, literally like looking at me dead in the eye. And she goes, you so hurt his feelings. You called him ugly. I went, who the fuck is it? She goes, it's Eldon. And I went, oh my God, I felt so bad. Well, the picture came out kind of like the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Oh gosh.
And she said they move so fast. You can't get a picture of what they actually look like. Of course, I have begged ever since then to have him pop in a picture so I could see what he looked like. But I mean, I saw eyes, nose, mouth, mustache, beard, jawline. I still have it. It was like the weirdest thing. And then the most exciting thing. But that's my snuggle buddy, because I don't want an actual real man. I just want somebody who will come and go when I say, okay, come here, and then leave.
Now, isn't there a cat that
Denise is dying over here?
Isn't there a cat that often snuggles with you at night?
Well, not since we have the dog.
Oh, or the dog snuggles with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But doesn't help you go to sleep though, huh?
No, I mean, because the dog can be a pain in the ass. But I mean, I'm just, I just say I need a snuggle. You know that nice feeling when somebody snuggles up to you from behind and you just go, okay, I'm content. And
Spooning.
that's what I get. Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
and
and Denise is dying here. She can't wait to tell her other half.
yep,
You,
yep.
you won't imagine. You should have listened.
Well, I agree with you as far as the animals sometimes can be a pain in the ass when they cuddle up with you. I mean, Sylvester has his spot that he comes in, Sylvester, my cat, and he's grooming himself, and I'm trying to go to sleep, and he's making these noises, and I'm like, Sylvester, please stop. Once in a while he will. And I'm like, if you're going to do that, please go somewhere else. You know,
Oh,
I mean, he means well. He truly
yes.
means well, you know. But wow, wow, wow. Denise, why don't you unmute yourself and let's see what you have to say here in regards to Lori's sharing.
I haven't had a snuggle buddy in a long time.
Oh, that's why you're laughing. Oh,
But
oh,
that's cute. I can picture that.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm glad she's got a snuggle buddy.
yeah, yeah. Is there any sort of a unique experience that's happened for you in regards to the I'll just simply say, I know you're here. That's the title of our show tonight. You know, it's
Just let lights flickering. One time at Christmas, all my Christmas tree lights, they were just regular lights. They all turned to hearts. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'm seeing things here. And I asked my girlfriend, I said, are those hearts on my trees? They were all in the shapes of hearts.
well,
I
I
can't
want to
picture that. I mean,
someone who's been on this show before. I can't remember. It was probably a month or so ago. His name is Guy Dussault, and he has actually two Facebook groups titled "Signs from Our Loved Ones," and he's been getting signs for over 10 years. At Christmas time, the lights turned into hearts.
wow.
Okay, they are shape of hearts, and that's a message. That's a sign from his son, who's been on the other side for 10 plus years. So I know you can find some pictures if you go find his website, Signs from Our Loved Ones. Okay.
Okay.
And one of his favorites is the Christmas lights. They're white, but they're shaped of little hearts, just like you're
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So somebody is sending you some love.
Good.
And what I want to say is often, if we're not quite sure where a message is coming from, um, go with what comes to you first, your first impression, your first hunch. Okay. And that's very likely is it. So, but thank you for sharing on that. Um, uh, I don't know if I have a book of his still or not. I have to go look, but it's got the pictures of the Christmas tree with the lights, all white lights,
Yeah,
and
mine too.
they're in little hearts. Yep, and they are right side up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like, okay, who's doing that? What happened? How'd that happen? So wow, yeah, thank you. That's powerful. So next time you see something like that, or see something that's unique, and you know it could be a loved one, stop and ask.
I never thought of that. It just never dawned on me it was a loved one. I just thought I was losing.
And when you first saw it, was it somewhere around the time of one of the losses of one of your family members that you spoke about? That might. you maybe can't remember at this moment, but you'd have to stop and think back. Okay, you're nodding your head.
No, I shouldn't have. Yeah, not. I know exactly.
Who would it be?
It's when my boyfriend died many years ago at Christmas time, before Christmas, like a week before.
He died just
It
before
and I
Christmas.
never know. Yeah, but if they had never dawned on me that it could have been him, wow, that's nice.
So the first time it ever happened was shortly after he passed.
No, it was years later, but it was at the same time of his passing, years later.
So you're connecting the
I just
time
thought,
and the incident to him. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
that's all
sorry.
I can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about that.
Oh,
But isn't it wonderful?
yeah.
Isn't it wonderful what spirit can do? It's like, okay. And that actually comes from a song, Wonders and Mysteries Never Live with anyway, I don't have all the words, but yeah. So I'm gonna share, and this is a little well, although both of you've got some pretty interesting stories to share here in regards to I know you're here. Um, this happened to me a couple days ago, and I was I, I I was a bit tired, and I said, well, what I do is I honor myself, and I'll take a little nap in the middle of the day if there's a need to, and because of just a lot of things that I've been going through over the past few years, and I have a couch that's a big like a horseshoe, okay, and one part of it I can lie on like I'm on a recliner. Okay, I'm rested back, my feet are up. Okay, and that's been a common place for me to take a rest. And the interesting thing about it is, actually, can you see the door opening behind me? There's one there. Over this way, there's a couple other doors. I was facing that. I had nodded off, and I had awoken enough that I had opened my eyes and looked around, but then I shut my eyes. And at what point, I'm not sure when this happened. But I saw a very, very detailed, cleared image of my father. And the interesting piece is it was like he was, see how you got that doorway here I'm showing behind me right now. It's like he was bent over like this into the doorway, like he was looking in on me. It was phenomenal. And he was wearing a red plaid flannel shirt that would have been part of his clothes family, should we say. And he was just so detailed. He didn't say a word. I was blown away. And for as a medium, being blown away by something, that's intense. And I needed to call a mutual friend who would understand me and wouldn't say I was nuts. Okay. And this particular friend has had communication from my dad for me before. So it was I was just like, oh my gosh. It was like he was bending over he was bending in from one plane to this. He was coming in from the spirit plane and he was bent over into my plane. That's the way it seemed. And he didn't say a word, but what it was for me was there's been a few concerns I've had. He was just letting me know everything was going to be okay. That's what I felt. He was my mother had been gone for many, many years, so he was the only parent I had for most of my lifetime. And so it was kind of like, I'm here. I'm just letting you know I'm here and I can step through the veil. And that's kind of what he did. So I was debating on sharing that, but I says, no, no, they may not have ever experienced something like that, but they could comprehend it. It's like, oh my gosh. But you can imagine what it's like to see a parent who's gone to spirit, and all of a sudden to see, and it was, what can I say? He was full size that he would be. And it was a really split moment. And I'm not sure if I saw it when my eyes were open or my eyes were shut, but it was like the two worlds blended together. That's the best way I could say it. The two worlds blended together. And I was just, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. So, but spirit, our loved ones can do so many little things for us. Um, Anybody have songs that have meaning? And the song come up and it's like you start thinking of another person, that person who was connected to the song, and it starts getting the tears going in your eyes. I mean, there's so many ways they can come through. And if you want research, matter of fact, a great resource of signs from our loved ones is a great resource. Guy Du Salt, he's up in, I believe he's in Maine. Yeah. Uh, and he started the group after he started getting signs from his son Billy. Matter of fact, for those of you who aren't aware, I do have a YouTube page. Matter of fact, you can go look at um, some of the videos there, and Guy's visit was there in regards to, titled the same thing, Signs from Our Loved Ones. But he also has a group where people talk and share about the various signs that they receive from their loved ones. Like the chirping birds would be perfect that Denise received. Me seeing my dad, that might have been a little extreme, but I felt to share it. It was important to share it. A lot of people get different type signs from different birds. They'll see something in a cloud. The list goes on and on. And the simplest thing is for you to hear something through your mechanism, through your physical body. Um, I had an experience one time where I fell down a set of stairs. I was stumbled. I was safe. It was outside, but I was, should I say, shook up. And very much like Lori shared, hearing her son telling her to stop crying. I heard my name. I heard my first name. Back then, I used to go by Pam, and I heard Pam. So I lifted my head up. I'm still lying on the ground, and I'm looking around. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. But somebody was reaching through from the other side, checking to make sure I was okay, but also to let me know that they were there watching. They were there looking after me. What a great feeling. What a wonderful feeling it is to have validation that we're not alone and that love never dies. You know what it does? It grows, it expands, and we can heal relationships with loved ones. We can heal the emotional debris that's left over. What a wonderful gift. Wonderful gift. So now, does anybody else have something they'd like to share? Everybody's gone dark for a few minutes. That's fine. Uh, and if not, I'm going to close soon. So, Laura, do you have any other sharings you'd like to add?
Trying to think. Every now and then I'll smell pipe tobacco,
Okay.
and that would be my grandfather.
Okay. He used to smoke a pipe. All right.
Yes.
Okay. That's a nice little tip that he's around.
And he used to sit on the foot of my bed all the time.
With, uh, wait a minute. Sit on the foot of your bed. Is that in a physical body or is that in spirit?
In spirit.
Ah, how did you know you sat on your butt? Sat on the.
Well, because I thought at first it was the cat jumping up. And I'd sit up because I'd like, what are you, a lame ass? Come on up. Nobody's there. And then it would be in a different position, different side of the bed. And then a friend of mine had said, "That's your grandfather. Just checking in." I said,
And
"Okay."
that's where you smelled the pipe too.
And
Or
yeah,
did that come differently?
that was different.
Okay.
And then one weekend, totally alone, I rented a horror movie. Scared the bejesus out of me. And I laid down in bed, pulled the blankets up, and I thought, I am not opening my eyes until morning. And I felt a finger go across my forehead and move the hair out of my face. And I just went, oh, holy shit. I don't mind just sitting on the bed, but don't touch me because it really freaks me out. And it's never happened again. And I thought, maybe I disappointed him by saying, oh my God, don't ever do that. But I had just watched a horror movie that scared the crap out of me. And even though something touched me, I refused to open my eyes. Because I thought if I see something, I'm going to have a heart attack and die. And that's how they're going to find me.
And this is you as an adult, right?
Yes, like a year, 2 years. No, wait a minute. 7 years ago, maybe.
I personally have found that horror movies or anything that has any major like drama and stuff going on, I can't watch.
Oh,
More and more, the more sensitive I get, the least I can be a part of that. Titanic, I enjoyed very much the love story, but the trauma part, I couldn't disconnect myself from it. It was, yeah, yeah, and that's a very common thing for any of us who are sensitive. So just to let you know that. But what you can do in regards to your grandfather is you can talk to him and tell him, explain to him what you just explained about your experience here, and that you would love to have him come join you again. Um, not on nights that you watch horror movies.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I would like to have, some advice on, dealing with my mom, his daughter.
See?
So, because today was just a very confusing day for her. And I thought, of all days for the LNAs and the caregiver not to be able to come. Um, so I don't know if it's a tract infection or the dementia has taken another nosedive. But she asked me when mom was going to be home because she thought I was her sister, who's 93. So, and I said, well, she's probably home. Like I said the other day, go with the flow. There's no sense in correcting somebody who's confused already.
Right,
It's not
right,
going to help the situation.
right. And the other thing too is I want to share as we're stepping in closer to Halloween in the full moon, those energies are going to be enhancing all this. Halloween is what All Hallowed Eve,
Yes.
and it's the time when people honor their loved ones on the other side. and so the energy is extra high. And anybody who's doing any of this work at that time is definitely going to notice a raise in vibration. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
because I'm just waiting for her to be able to see them. You know, when she gets to that state of mind that she'll see them. So
and it's possible she may see them in her sleep already.
yeah, that's true.
You know, that she may see them when she's in her sleep. Um, yeah, there's, I'll share that a dear friend of mine who's been on the other side now, probably, oh gosh, over 10 years now. She was also a medium. Her name's Jean, and she passed with cancer. And it was at the time that I was awake with all of these gifts, but I was still kind of a newbie. And often when somebody has, is ill, they're at the end of their life, they often there's a coma time or sometime that they're not conscious. Not always, but sometimes. But in this case, it was. I went in to visit her, and she was at a I would call it a nursing home, but actually it's going to be more of a what do you call it? At the in between place between home and
Rehab.
rehab. Yeah. Even though for her it was because they put her on hospice because it was her end of life time.
Yeah.
So I went in to visit her one day, and I mean, we would do mediumship and stuff like that together and do cards and all kinds of stuff.
And I did.
But this time she was sleeping, and I opted to sit down and wait to see if she was going to wake. I didn't want to force her awake, but if she
Yeah.
woke up, that'd be great. I could talk to her, and if not, I would talk to her another time. Well, because of my gifts, I'm sitting there looking at her body, and I heard, Pamela, I'm up here.
Oh.
Well, I froze. First off, we have a personal relationship, and that my emotions got in the way. Secondly, I had no clue what to say. And basically, as a medium, the appropriate thing is to ask questions, to get a conversation going, right?
Yeah.
No. I was stunned. I was totally stunned. She never woke up that time I was visiting. And I opted to finally leave. And came back the next day. She was her old self. She's sitting up in bed, and people bounce back and forth from these
Right.
when they're at the end of life stages. And I told her what happened. She had no clue.
No.
But what it came about was that she already knew how to communicate. She was out of her body. She was on the spirit side of life, and she was communicating to me from there. I mean, she could do it she could do mediumship from the physical here with other spirits. So it was so simple for her to do. Okay. But the interesting thing is, I came in with a notebook and pen. I was all ready to take notes, and she's wide awake. She's her good old self, but it gave her some. I feel like the experience was important for me in my side of it, but it was
Right.
also important for her.
Yes.
You know. So what I want to say, what reason I brought this up is, when people are going through their end of life experiences, especially those who have issues within their brain, a dementia or an Alzheimer's. Um, but also, okay, I want to go no more to more cancer when they have some sort of uh, not sleep, but they're unconscious, they're in a coma or something. They're visiting spirit.
Mm.
They're connecting with spirit. And at one point, before she did pass, she came back from her sleep or wherever she was, and she mentioned her sister, who's on the other side. So it was quite an experience. I mean, now being awake and fully understanding, if somebody had said to me like her physical body sitting there, and I hear, Pamela, I'm up here, I'd start talking to her, asking questions, and taking notes, and then sharing it with her later on.
Wow.
But it's yeah, and that, when they start connecting to loved ones, the loved ones are coming closer because it's their time to move on. We are with them, comforting them as they're getting ready to leave, and the other loved ones on the other side are comforting them as they're stepping through the veil
Yep.
to the other side. It's like love never dies. They want to support them. They want to be there to show them the love.
Well, that's what I told Walter. I said, there will not be 1 second you will be alone from this world to the next.
Yep.
There
Yep.
will be somebody, they're waiting for you.
Yep. Yep.
And, I said, some of them are grandparents that you've never met. Maybe some you'll remember. But I said, there's going to be a lot that you know.
Right.
So it's not going to be unfamiliar.
Yeah. 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 And just for heads up, it's something totally different, but Denise did leave us a message. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Denise left us a message on chat. Just says, I have to leave now. Thank you very much. Bye, Lori and Pam. So anyway,
She's cute.
but yeah, she's sweet. So okay. Anything else that we want to add, or I think we want to start closing this up shortly.
I was thinking of something earlier and then I forget what it was. So hopefully next week it will come back. I should write it down when I get it.
Well, it's probably something you'll fit in to share it somewhere,
Yes.
somewhere in a class or a discussion here of this nature. So I just want to remind people that this is Love Never Dies. Anybody who is listening to this after the fact of the recording, and this is going to be posted on YouTube, my YouTube channel titled Pamela Marie Edmunds. And you go in there and you look for Love Never Dies radio show. There's also some channelings in there from various beings, and there's some animal communication aspects. There is also some recordings from a radio show that I started and had to put on hiatus. And the second one, it's All Animals Deserve Love. I don't know when that's going to come back up, but right now I felt guided to put it aside because I wasn't getting the answers that I was looking for as far as guests and what I was supposed to do with the show. So anyway, but okay, so check my website for various upcoming events. Friday here we're talking the group trance mediumship session, and that's posted on Facebook. It's also on my website, Pamela Marie Edmunds. And next week's show, I haven't a clue yet what it's going to be about, but it'll be something interesting, something that relates to Love Never Dies.
Okay.
And that's what
It doesn't.
the two worlds, connecting to between the two worlds. And don't forget my wonderful Monday group. Let's talk spiritually. And then the mediumship development circle, that's going to be starting on Thursday. So anyway, take care, everybody. Be safe, be well. And remember, there's a lot of people out there that are having a tough time right now. To send them some positive thoughts, some positive energy, whatever you feel to do. And things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. We don't quite know how and when, but things are going to get better. So thank you all for being here. God bless and have a great night.
Thank you, Pamela Marie.
You're welcome, dear. Thank you, everybody who showed up. And you can tell Lori, you can tell pass your the link to the YouTube channel to your friend there.
Okay.
And maybe you can give her a few tips so that she can join us another time. So, okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.